What 2026 may bring for Libra. 12 key experiences. The year that stretches before you is not an ordinary one, Libra. It carries within it the seeds of experiences that could reshape how you understand yourself, your relationships, and your place in the wider world. Some of these experiences will arrive gently, almost imperceptibly. Others will announce themselves with unmistakable clarity. But all of them, every single one, will carry meaning that extends far beyond the surface of the moment. Experience 1. The first key experience that 2026 may bring for you is a profound moment of recognition, in which someone from an unexpected corner of your life acknowledges your value in a way that takes your breath away. This is not ordinary praise or casual compliment. This is the kind of deep, specific, almost startling recognition that makes you feel truly seen, perhaps for the first time in years. Someone is going to look at you and tell you exactly what you mean to them, exactly how you have impacted their life, exactly why they are grateful that you exist. And the shock of hearing these words will reveal to you just how starved you have been for this kind of acknowledgement, how long you have been giving recognition to others while receiving almost none in return. This experience will not just make you feel good in the moment, although it will certainly do that. It will fundamentally change the way you think about your own impact on the world around you. You will begin to understand that the kindness you have shown, the patience you have exercised, the grace you have offered, none of it has been invisible. All of it has been received, processed, treasured, and carried forward by the people whose lives you have touched. And the recognition that comes in 2026 is not the beginning of this acknowledgement. It is merely the first time it becomes loud enough for you to hear. Experience 2. The second experience involves a door closing that you expected to remain open. This may sound negative, but I need you to hear the rest before you judge it. Because in 2026, the closing of this particular door, whether it is an opportunity you were counting on, a path you were planning to follow, or a possibility you were keeping alive in the back of your mind, will initially feel like a loss. You may feel disappointed, frustrated, even angry. You may question the fairness of it, the timing of it, the reason for it. But as the weeks pass and the dust settles, something remarkable will happen. You will begin to see that the closed door was not a punishment or a rejection. It was a redirection. The universe closed it not because you were undeserving of what lay behind it, but because what lay behind it was smaller than what the universe has planned for you. The closed door was protecting you from settling for less than you deserve. And once you understand this, once you see the redirection for what it is, your trust in the process of your life will deepen in a way that nothing else could have accomplished. You will carry this understanding forward with you like a talisman, a reminder that every no from the universe is simply a more emphatic yes to something better. Experience 3. The third experience is one of unexpected creative awakening. At some point during 2026, a creative impulse is going to seize you with a force and a specificity that catches you completely off guard. You may suddenly feel compelled to write, to paint, to garden with new intention, to redesign your living space, to learn a new skill, to express something that has been brewing inside you for years but never found its way out. This creative urge will not be a passing fancy. It will persist, growing stronger the more you ignore it and more fulfilling the more you honor it. What makes this experience particularly significant for you as a Libra is that the creativity that emerges will be deeply tied to your sense of truth and authenticity. You will not be creating to impress or to conform to someone else's standards of beauty or excellence. You will be creating to express your own inner reality, your own unique way of seeing and experiencing the world. And in that expression, you will discover aspects of yourself that have been hidden, dormant, waiting for exactly this moment to emerge into the light. This creative awakening is not a luxury, Libra. It is a necessity. Your soul needs this outlet the way your lungs need air, and 2026 is the year when that need can no longer be denied. Experience 4. The fourth experience involves a significant shift in your daily routine that will initially feel disruptive, but will ultimately prove to be one of the best things that happens to you all year. Something about the structure of your days is going to change, whether by choice or by circumstance, and this change will force you to reorganize how you spend your time, what you prioritize, and what you are willing to let go of. The disruption may come in the form of a change in responsibilities, a shift in your living situation, a health-related adjustment, or simply a growing intolerance for the way things have been. Whatever its source, the result will be the same. A restructured life that has more room for the things that truly matter to you and less room for the things that have been consuming your time without nourishing your spirit. This reorganization of your daily life is closely connected to the broader alignment you are experiencing. As your inner world becomes more authentic and more coherent, your outer world naturally begins to reorganize itself to match. The routines that supported the old you feel increasingly uncomfortable because they were designed for a person you are no longer. And the new routines that are taking shape feel surprisingly natural, as though they were waiting in the wings all along, ready to step in the moment you gave them permission to do so. Experience 5. The fifth experience is a healing one, and it involves a wound that you may have thought was fully healed, but that turns out to have been only partially addressed. Sometime during 2026, this old wound will resurface, not because you failed to heal it the first time, but because you are now strong enough, wise enough, and aligned enough to heal it at a deeper level. The first healing addressed the surface. This one will reach the root. It may involve revisiting a painful memory from your past, confronting a pattern that has been silently governing your choices for decades, or feeling an old emotion that you thought you had processed, but that still carries a charge. This experience will not be easy. Healing at this level never is. But it will be profoundly liberating, because once the root is healed, the pattern that grew from it dissolves completely. Not gradually, not partially, but completely. And the freedom that follows this kind of deep healing is unlike anything you have ever experienced. It is the freedom of a bird whose cage has been not just opened but removed entirely. There is nowhere you cannot fly now, Libra. Nowhere. And the sky above you is vast and bright and full of possibility. If what you're hearing feels accurate, imagine what could happen if you applied this energy intentionally for 21 consecutive days. That's exactly what the 21-day program in the pinned comment is built for. Daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you're tired of staying in the same cycle, this is your structure. Experience 6. The sixth experience is relational, and involves a deepening of intimacy with someone who is already in your life. This is not about romantic passion, although it may include that. It is about the kind of intimacy that comes from two people finally dropping their masks and allowing each other to see what lies beneath. In 2026, a relationship that has been operating at a certain depth is going to go much deeper, revealing layers of connection that neither of you knew were there. This deepening may be triggered by a shared experience, a crisis that brings you closer, a conversation that breaks through walls, or simply the natural progression of a bond that has been growing stronger year after year. Whatever triggers it, the result will be a level of closeness and understanding that feels almost sacred. You will feel known in a way that is both thrilling and terrifying, understood in a way that makes your eyes sting with unshed tears, loved in a way that reaches parts of you that nothing else has ever touched. This is the kind of intimacy that Libras crave at the deepest level, but rarely allow themselves to experience, because it requires a vulnerability that feels dangerous for someone who has spent a lifetime maintaining equilibrium. But 2026 is the year when that vulnerability stops feeling dangerous and starts feeling essential. Experience 7. The seventh experience is one of unexpected abundance. And I use the word unexpected deliberately, because the abundance that is coming for you in 2026 will arrive from a direction you are not watching. You have been looking for prosperity in the obvious places, expecting it to come through the usual channels, hoping for improvements in the areas where you have been consciously focusing your attention. And those areas may well improve. But the real abundance, the abundance that takes your breath away, is going to come from somewhere you never anticipated. It might be a resource you did not know you had, a connection you did not realize was valuable, a skill you had forgotten you possessed, a door you did not even know existed. The universe has been preparing this surprise for you, Libra, carefully setting it up behind the scenes while you were busy looking in other directions. And when it arrives, when you finally see what has been arranged on your behalf, you will understand something important about the way abundance works. It does not follow our expectations. It does not conform to our plans. It moves according to its own intelligence, its own timing, its own understanding of what we truly need. And it arrives not where we expect it but where it can make the greatest impact. Experience 8. The eighth experience is a moment of solitude so profound and so nourishing that it changes your relationship with being alone forever. Sometime during 2026, you will find yourself in a moment of complete and perfect solitude. A moment when the noise of the world falls away, and you are left with nothing but your own thoughts, your own feelings, your own presence. And in that moment, something extraordinary will happen. Instead of feeling lonely or anxious or bored, you will feel completely, utterly, radiantly at peace. You will feel whole. Not because something external has completed you, but because you have finally recognized the completeness that was always there inside you, waiting to be discovered. This moment of sacred solitude will be a turning point in your life, Libra. It will teach you that you do not need anyone or anything to be whole, that your wholeness is inherent, built into the fabric of your being, as natural and as permanent as the color of your eyes. This does not mean you will stop wanting connection and companionship. You will always want those things because you are a relational being and your connections with others are genuinely important to you. But you will want them from a different place. From fullness rather than emptiness. From choice rather than need. From love rather than fear. And that shift from needing connection to choosing it will transform every relationship in your life. Some people watch. Others transform. If you want to be in the second group, the 21-day guide in the pinned comment gives you a clear step-by-step process aligned with your sign. This isn't about waiting. It's about moving. Experience 9. The 9th experience involves a confrontation with a fear that has been quietly controlling your decisions for longer than you care to admit. In 2026, this fear is going to rise to the surface in a way that demands your attention. Not in a terrifying way, not in a way that overwhelms or paralyzes you, but in a way that clearly and directly asks you to look at it, understand it, and decide whether you want to continue giving it power. This is one of the most important experiences you will have all year, because the fear in question has been acting as an invisible governor on your life, limiting your speed, capping your ambition, keeping you safely within boundaries that were drawn by a version of yourself that no longer exists. When you face this fear, when you look at it clearly and see it for what it really is, not a protector but a jailer, you will feel a shift in your entire being. The bars of the cage will dissolve, the ceiling that was holding you down will disappear, and suddenly, the full height of your potential will be visible to you for the first time, stretching upward into territories you never knew existed. Experience 10. The 10th experience is one of forgiveness, not forgiveness of someone else, but forgiveness of yourself. In 2026, you are going to reach a point where the weight of self-judgment becomes so clearly unnecessary, so obviously counterproductive, so undeniably harmful to your growth and your happiness, that you simply put it down. Not through willpower or determination, but through a quiet, organic realization that carrying this weight serves no one, least of all you. The self-forgiveness that emerges from this realization will not be dramatic. There will be no tears, no crisis, no cathartic breakdown. It will feel more like a gentle exhale, a slow releasing of tension that you have been holding for so long that you forgot it was there. And in the space that opens up when that tension releases, something beautiful will grow. A new tenderness toward yourself. A new patience with your imperfections. A new appreciation for the journey you have traveled and the person it has shaped you into. This self-forgiveness is the foundation upon which all the other experiences of 2026 are built, because until you forgive yourself, you cannot fully receive the blessings that the universe is preparing for you. Experience 11. The 11th experience involves a moment of profound connection with nature that reminds you of truths you have been too busy to remember. Sometime during 2026, you will find yourself in the presence of natural beauty, so overwhelming that it silences every thought in your head and opens every feeling in your heart. It might be a sunrise that stops you mid-step. A night sky that makes you feel simultaneously infinitely small and infinitely significant. A garden in full bloom that brings tears to your eyes for reasons you cannot explain. Whatever form it takes, this encounter with nature's magnificence will reconnect you to something fundamental, something that the busyness of modern life has been slowly eroding. It will remind you that you are part of something vast and ancient and beautiful, that your life is not separate from the life of the planet but woven into it, thread by thread, breath by breath. That the same intelligence that turns seeds into trees and caterpillars into butterflies is at work in your life too, turning your struggles into strengths and your wounds into wisdom. This reconnection with nature is more than just a pleasant experience. It is a healing one. It restores perspective when perspective has been lost. It calms anxiety when anxiety has been running wild. It reminds you of what matters when you have temporarily forgotten. Experience 12. The 12th and final experience that 2026 may bring for you is perhaps the most significant of all, And it is also the hardest to describe because it is less an event than a state of being. At some point during this year, all the other experiences, the recognition, the redirection, the creative awakening, the routine restructuring, the deep healing, the intimate deepening, the unexpected abundance, the sacred solitude, the fear confrontation, the self-forgiveness, the nature reconnection, all of them will converge into a single unified experience of what it feels like to be fully alive, fully present, and fully yourself. This is the experience of wholeness, Libra. Not the wholeness that comes from having everything you want, but the wholeness that comes from being everything you are. It is a moment, or perhaps a series of moments, in which you feel completely at home in your own skin, completely at peace with your own story, completely in love with the simple, profound, miraculous act of being alive. This is what 2026 is really about. Not the individual experiences, as meaningful as they are, but the wholeness that emerges when they come together. You have been moving toward this wholeness your entire life, Libra. Every joy and every sorrow, every triumph and every failure, every hello and every goodbye has been a step on the path that leads here. And here is where you are, standing on the threshold of a year that will show you, finally and unmistakably, who you really are and what your life is really about. You have two options after this video: close it and hope things shift, or decide that the next 21 days will be different. If you choose the second, the structured 21-day transformation aligned with your sign is waiting in the pinned comment. The energy is already moving, the only question is whether you are.